What is up, everybody? This is your guy Cly, and welcome back to Budget Tubing. And today, I want to take a look at the Pulse desktop microphone from fivebelow. This microphone is brought to us by PrimeConnect, and they claim that it's good enough to be used in podcasts, streaming, and music. Now, of course, I am a little bit wary, simply due to the fact that the last microphone I reviewed from fivebelow wasn't all that good. The microphone in question was the Booga LED gaming microphone, and I'll go ahead and link to that review in a card right now. Now, back on the topic of the Pulse, the microphone uses a condenser capsule that is omnidirectional and is supposedly anti-noise. Now on the side here, we do have some highlights of the item, though the one that I really want to talk about for a second here is the connector they show on the side of the box versus the one they have on the back of the box. While they have the same profile, those connectors are actually quite different and are used in different ways. Though just talking about that really won't get the point home, so let's get this microphone out of the box and see which one we're dealing with. Here we have it, and one thing I want to point out before going any further is that this microphone's actually a little bit smaller than I anticipated. I actually have several microphones with this form factor, and the size I was expecting was something a bit closer to this. Of course, that doesn't make a huge difference as long as it sounds nice, but I just thought that was interesting. Of course, with this being a $5 microphone, if it sounds even half decent, it's going to be worth the money. And before anybody says that this is a $5 microphone and I shouldn't be expecting that much, keep in mind that this microphone is $6 on Amazon and it has a full metal construction with detachable XLR cable, whereas this one's all plastic and it uses a permanently attached 3.5mm cable. Of course, this one is technically a dynamic microphone and not a condenser, and there is a little bit of price difference there, but of course I'm not talking about this microphone today, so let's get back on topic. Now, in the previous shot, I did talk about how the box showed a TRRS connector, or tip ring sleeve, which is typically used for delivering 3 channels to some devices, with those channels typically being left and right stereo audio as well as a microphone feed. But on the back of the box, it shows a TRS connector, which is typically used for delivering 2 channels. So what does this microphone have? It's the 2-channel connector. Of course, the connector that this has isn't super important, but it does affect how you're going to use it in the future. A connector like this is typically used to plug into a computer's sound card, assuming it doesn't have a combo jack like those used in many cell phones. If your computer or device does indeed have one of those combo jacks, you will need an adapter, like the 2-in-1 adapter included with the Booga LED gaming headset. In cases like that, all you need to do is take your 2-channel connector and then plug it directly into the microphone input on the adapter, at which point you're good to go. And for those of you wondering, yes, this can be used with any device that accepts an analog microphone input, and this does include the major video game consoles, though you may have to go out and get yourself one of these adapters in some cases. Now, before we get to the audio test portion, I want to take a closer look at the stand that is included with this microphone, because it's actually quite a bit different from what I was expecting. Now, on the surface, this looks like a generic microphone clip attached to a base using a standard 5/8 of an inch connector. But this is actually one solidly molded piece. I don't know if you can see the seam down there, but this does not come off. It's just a minor thing, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, so for this audio test, let's compare the 2 main microphones being sold at fivebelow right now. Technically, there is another microphone, but it's not meant to be used for the same applications as these. That one's built into a selfie stick, and I did review this quite a while ago, so I'll go ahead and put up a card for that video now. Let's get this out of the way and switch my audio capture over to the Booga. Alright, so what you're hearing right now is the audio from the Booga LED gaming microphone. I'm currently about a foot or so away from the mic, and admittedly I'm not talking directly towards the capsule, so let's fix that by maneuvering it just ever so slightly, and as you can see, that didn't make much of a difference. I currently have this microphone capturing at 100% volume, so that's fun. And yes, this is typically how this microphone is going to be used. If you want to improve the audio quality a bit, I could always bring it up a bit closer to my face, but you're still going to be dealing with this ever so lovely background noise. Let's put that down, turn on the Pulse mic, and switch over to that. And this is what I sound like on the Pulse microphone when it's plugged straight into my computer. Now, I'm once again a little over a foot away from this microphone talking directly at it, and I only have the audio capture on my computer set to 50% gain, which means I have a lot of wiggle room. Of course, if I really want to, I could just pick up the microphone and move it a bit closer to my face. In fact, this is what I typically do with microphones in general, using a boom arm, and by moving it closer like this, I can use what is called the proximity effect to get a much warmer sound on my recording. I can also come through a lot louder without having to crank the gain of my microphone up to the maximum, which means I don't have to deal with all of that pesky background noise. Of course, if I did just want to use it in this kind of configuration, I would crank the audio up to about 75%, which is what I've done just now. And here's me at 100% while still at this distance. Alright, so that's how the Pulse microphone sounds when being run through my laptop's audio card. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like the way it sounded. Though, of course, the audio quality is very much dependent on whatever device you have it plugged into, which can be anything as long as it accepts 3.5mm jack-powered microphones. And yes, the jack-powered part is important because most mixers actually don't have power on their 1/4-inch jacks, so if you use an adapter on that, you're not going to get any audio. Because of that, I could actually run the audio from this thing through all kinds of different kit in order to improve the quality. In fact, the raw audio from this mic actually sounds a little bit better than the raw audio from the microphone that I typically use to record my videos. Between you and me, I do actually do a couple of tweaks to my audio, mainly due to the fact that this is a small capsule microphone I'm using and things are a bit tinny. Not so much with this one, it actually is quite a bit warmer than I was expecting. And because of all of that, I actually think this is a great grab for $5 if you're looking for a microphone to get into content creation, or you just need something to use with your online classes. Now, I know at least a few of you out there are probably thinking that I'm being a bit harsh on the Booga microphone because it is a $10 USB mic, and they did the best they could with that budget. But I've got a surprise for you coming later on. I'll just leave it at that. And on that mystery, until next time, this is your guy, Cly, signing off.